What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, the Super Evolutions for the GERMA 66 have finally arrived on One Piece Treasure Cruise Global. So along with their Super Evolutions, obviously you have to actually go ahead and farm this specific dungeon in order to get the drops to Super Evolve the characters. So you can see that the final boss characters is the entire GERMA team. You can actually drop the skill books for these characters as well, which is extremely useful, especially if you did miss out on skilling up some of the characters previously. And you can also go ahead and get the drops for the skulls that you need to Super Evolve these characters. Now, I haven't gone into full detail because obviously I took a little bit of a break from YouTube, of course, but in this video as well, we're actually going to go ahead and Super Evolve all of the GERMA characters, and we'll break down each of them in detail so you guys know exactly what they do. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. So we will go ahead and do a full run through of the 50 stamina version of this dungeon, and we are going to be using the full GERMA team. This is the most ideal team to actually take on this dungeon. It's basically built for this team to beat it. There are going to be future event islands that will come out that will grant super evolution skulls for certain characters, and they aren't always pertaining to the characters that they are, you know, trying to super evolve. Like, I know that NL eventually gets one, but like Legend NL obviously isn't the most ideal character to run against that specific dungeon. Anyways, let's get straight into it. So with stage 1 here, we don't have anything really special, so we're just going to go ahead and take our time here to try and stall for our special abilities. We want to make sure that we have our specials ready because we are going to be using our first special on stage 5. Stage 5, we will need our Reiju special, and like you can tell just by what the dungeon does that like this team is just built to be beaten by the GERMA team. And you guys will see in a little bit more detail what we mean by that. But these GERMA units are actually really cool. I'm really happy that they're finally getting their super evolutions. It was a big surprise when it, you know, first got announced on Japan that, you know, this was going to be an actual thing where they're going to super evolve the entire GERMA batch. That's insane. And it does open up, you know, the door of opportunity for future batches to potentially get like a full batch upgrade. I think that would be a really cool idea. A batch that would be really cool to get like fully super evolved, I think, would be like the Dofi batch. That would be amazing. I don't know, there are some really cool batches that they could really do that with, so it'd be interesting. If you guys have any ideas for like what kind of batches they could do like full super evolutions for in this like type of style, let me know down below in the comment section. But we're just about ready to go. We might as well just keep going. We don't really need to stall here. But on stage 3 here, this is where we're going to encounter one of the first of the mini bosses, which is going to be both Niji and Youngji. So you're going to see here that we have Strength, Int, I think it's Dex Orbs as well, Quick Orbs. Strength, Quick, and Int are going to be counted as negative for your team. Now you can counteract this debuff by bringing a character that will give you beneficial orbs for multiple turns before you enter this room, and you'll completely negate that. But obviously with this team we can just go ahead and use our natural orbs to deal a lot of damage to these guys. These guys have a decent amount of HP, so they're going to be quite tanky to actually take down. Now this stage is actually quite annoying as well. If you're not running this specific team, this stage can be annoying. The middle, the front row on this specific stage, they will paralyze you after that first turn of attacks. So I would definitely suggest taking out at least the front row characters before the first turn, otherwise you're going to get paralyzed for 5 turns, I believe it is. But obviously if you have Reiju, she enables you to get rid of paralysis, because we need to use Reiju right here. So we have Ichiji and we have Reiju, so we can see that we get our specials binding for 3 turns, and we also get poison for 3,000 damage per turn. This is where Reiju is obviously going to be an extremely good unit because she gets rid of poison and she gets rid of the special binds. So she's fantastic for this specific stage. But once again, you know, because of the judge team, we can just go ahead and do our regular attacks and get rid of these characters. Alright, so now we're going to move on to stage number 6. We have the mini-boss Judge. So with this specific stage, we have our characters going to be binded for 6 turns. 2 characters that are your sailors will be binded for 6 turns. We can use Judge to obviously get rid of that, as well, you know, shuffle our orbs, get some matching orbs and stuff. So, let's go ahead and do this and see how this goes. Now, Judge is kind of interesting here because when you actually kill Judge, he will change all of your orbs into block orbs. Now, I'm not 100% certain because of the judge team and the way it worked, but I think he actually gives you a 99 turn orb boost as well when you kill him. So having Judge, you know, the fact that he gives an orb boost when you kill him means that you won't get that specific debuff. But now we're here on the final stage where we have the full super evolved GERMA 16. This stage does look quite frightening when you look at it, but let's go ahead and go through this, okay? So we got Judge at the back, he's got a lot of health, he's got the perfect barrier for one turn as well. We're going to take this one turn off, we're going to take a lot of damage here, and then we're going to activate basically all of our specials and just kill him here. The thing is the way the Judge is built, of course, is, you know, when you use his special ability to get your orbs, it is quite RNG related, so let's see if we can actually get you know, at least 5 matching orbs. That would be ideal here. So whenever you go ahead and delay, EGG actually removes the delay, which can be quite annoying. We did actually get 5 matching orbs, which is actually fine, okay? So now we can go ahead and use Youngji, and we should be able to kill this entire room in a single burst turn of attack. So let's go ahead and do this, and let's see how we go. Boom, boom, boom. And boom. There we go. Very, very good. But Judge actually revives. He revives and he will blow away one random character on your crew. So we're going to blow away our Raiju here, but we can go ahead and take the time here to just casually take down Judge here. And that is that. So that is the full playthrough basically of the GERMA 66 Super Evolution Island. So now that we've gone ahead and we've fully beaten the island, I actually still need to go ahead and farm up one more skull. I need one more Youngji skull to actually drop, and then I can super evolve the entire batch. I would highly suggest, if you are running this team, don't super evolve the characters as you go because they change significantly. I would ideally suggest farm up every single skull for the characters first and then super evolve the whole batch at once. So we're going to be right back once I get the skulls necessary to super evolve these characters. Okay, so we are finally ready to actually super evolve these characters. Man, getting that last Youngji skull took me actually quite a while to get. So if we actually just quickly look, like just looking at my pure drop rates, I've got 8 Judge skulls. Now this does include the Chopper Man missions as well, which do give, I think, 1 of each skull eventually. Lots of Raiju, lots of Ichiji. Niji was pretty decent, but it took me a long time to actually get these Youngji skulls. We finally were able to get them. Okay, so let's go ahead and super evolve these characters. So here we have all of the GERMA units ready to go. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up to Judge. Here we have Raiju. So let's go ahead and super evolve this Raiju, and oh my god, this artwork is phenomenal. Let's go ahead and do it. Super evolving this Raiju. Now, each of the GERMA units actually change to a different color. They change to the color that they were weak against. So, for Raiju, she goes from an int character to a psi character. For guys like Niji, who's a blue character, who's weak to Dex, he changes into the Dex typing. And that's how the type changes go for the GERMA units. Artwork on point. Let's go ahead and break down Raiju. So, Raiju, Captain ability will boost Psi character's attack by 2.25 and Powerhouse character's attack by 1.4 times, and also boost the Powerhouse character's recovery by 1.2 times. For pure Psi Powerhouse team compositions, this is not a terrible captain effect, but there's not going to be too many instances where you're going to be running like Powerhouse and then that specific color as well. Very, very interesting. But her special ability does change quite drastically. So 13 turn cooldown, if your captain is either Psi or Int, reduces your crew's attack down and special bind duration by 3 turns. So some very good utility there. On top of this, she applies a venom to the enemy, so it starts at 20 times her attack and gradually goes all the way up to 500,000 poison damage every turn. Now, this is a very similar effect to Magellan, if you guys are familiar with how he works. It's like that, except it's much, much weaker, obviously, because Magellan being a legend character, but still, having this character that can basically enable you to get the venom on an enemy is fantastic. But on top of this, if your captain is a Powerhouse character, she boosts the damage dealt against poisoned enemies by 1.75 times for 1 turn. So she is a self-proccing conditional booster, as well as amazing utility when she's on, you know, an int Psi Powerhouse team, basically. So she's fantastic, really strong unit, and is probably one of my favorites out of the entire evolution line, just because she is a self-proccing conditional, which is very, very good, and she's a 1.75 self-proc, and just the fact that she removes attack down and special bind, two really annoying debuffs to get around. So she's absolutely fantastic. Very, very good unit. Now, the next unit that we're going to be super evolving is going to be none other than Vinsmoke Niji. So Niji, as we mentioned a little bit before, is a quick character that now super evolves into a Dex character. And here we have Niji's artwork, which does absolutely look crazy as well. You know, all of these GERMA have very, very good artworks. So let's overview Niji. So he's very similar to Rage's Captain effect. It's a 2.25 to Dex characters, 1.4 to Powerhouse powerhouse characters that does stack, of course, but instead of boosting recovery, he boosts health by 1.2 times. Now, all of these characters did get vastly different special abilities. Niji, maxing at 13 turns. If your captain is Dex or Int, he will go ahead and set your chain to 2.75 times for 2 turns, which is pretty fantastic. And if your captain is Powerhouse, he reduces the enemy's attack up and enrage duration by 3 turns. Now, this is one thing about Vinsmoke Niji that I don't really like. Reducing the enemy's buffs isn't really that ideal, because in most cases, it's much better to remove your own debuffs than to remove the enemy's buffs. You know what I'm saying, But the fact that he is a 2.75 chain lock for 2 turns, that is, you can't look past that. That's phenomenal, really good, and he can fit on a lot of different teams. And you only get the enemy's removal of their buffs if the captain is a powerhouse character, which, in certain circumstances, you'd like to have the 2.75 times chain lock on a lot of other teams, but you only get the chain lock if your captain is Dex or Int. So this guy is mediocre in my opinion, just because, half of his special is fantastic, but the other half honestly really isn't the best. There aren't too many instances where you really need to go ahead and remove the enemy's enrage and attack up in most cases. It's just better to just kill the enemy before they attack with an attack up. But that's just my personal opinion on Niji. Still can't go past the fact he's a 2.75 chain locker though. Pretty awesome. Next of the Vinsmoke units, we have Vinsmoke Youngji. So Youngji is a Dex character previously, now super evolving into a Strength character. Once again, the artwork is on point. Let's go ahead and break him down. So we have Vinsmoke Youngji, who has a 2.25 times Strength captain ability, and Powerhouse characters get 1.4, and also HP to Powerhouse by 1.2. His special ability maxing at 13 turns. If your captain is Strength or Int, he will add 55 times his attack as additional typeless damage. So very similar to what he already previously did. I think they upped it. I think it was a little bit less of a multiplier, but remember, when they super evolve, they get a little bit better stats. So he's going to be doing more damage with his additional tap timing bonus. But on top of this, if your captain is a Powerhouse character, he reduces all enemies' damage reduction and damage limited duration by 3 turns. So damage reduction is the Rainbow Shield debuff on the enemy, or buff on the enemy. That's a good debuff, buff to get rid of on the enemy. Attack up is kind of a meh one, but removing damage limiters and damage reduction, big thumbs up for Youngji. And not only that, just the fact that he adds additional tap timing bonus, he's such a good unit. This is probably one of my favorites with Reiju in terms of, just the GERMA pluses in general. I think this guy's fantastic, and he fits on a lot of different teams, not just, the Vinsmoke team, of course. He's a very good unit, and if you're going to super evolve any of these characters, you should really super evolve all of them. This guy is definitely a must-have. Now, the last of the regular GERMA units, we have Vinsmoke Ichiji. Now, Ichiji is a Strength character, and when you have all the 5 skulls and super evolve him, he becomes a Quick character. So here we have the man himself. Man, he looks so goddamn sick. Okay, so we have Ichiji. So Ichiji is a quick character now, and his captain ability, like the brothers of course, is going to be 2.25 to the color, a 1.4 to the powerhouse, and 1.2 times HP to the powerhouse. His special ability, 13 turns like before. If your captain is quick or int, he will double your crew's slot effects for 1 turn. So this takes the judge position of the previous GERMA team. Judge obviously before was the ore booster for your crew. This guy now takes that effect. And on top of this, if your captain is Powerhouse, he reduces your crew's increased damage debuff duration by 3 turns. So this is something new that's going to be coming into the game. The fact that enemies are going to start putting increased damage debuffs on your team, so that when they attack you, you're just going to be taking more damage. So having a unit like this for the forthcoming meta is going to be pretty interesting to use. And just the fact that he's a 2 times ore booster, you can't really go past that either. Again, artwork very, very good. But now we're down to the line here. My man, Judge, Vinsmoke Judge, top 5 Judge, is going to be super evolved once you get all 5 of his super evolution skulls. Once again, can't go past the artwork, it looks amazing. But let's actually break down Judge. Judge actually changed quite a bit, and for the better, in my personal opinion. And if you're just comparing the units in general, the Psi Judge over the Int Judge. The Int Judge is just much better in every single way. So let's go ahead and break down what he does. He boosts the chances of landing on an Int slot because he does change from a Psi unit into an Int character. So he boosts the chance of landing on an Int orb, of course, reduces damage taken by 15%, so far it's pretty similar. He also boosts your crew's HP by 1.25, and he makes unfavorable slots have matching slot effects, and if every single type is on your crew, he's a 2.25 times type booster, and also you get an additional 1.75 if your characters have matching orbs. So he's essentially the same captain effect, except for a couple things. Obviously, now that he's an Int character, he makes Int orbs appear more often, and on top of this, he also makes non-matching orbs count as beneficial just naturally with his captain effect. So automatically, he's a much better captain effect. The actual multipliers of his attack don't really change. The HP values don't change and the damage reduction values don't change. But the fact that he will make unmatching orbs just matching is very good. Now his special ability did get a complete overhaul as well. So it reduces your damage taken by 30% for 2 turns. Very interesting. I don't know why they decided to do that. But you know, you take less damage when you activate his special ability. And he also doubles powerhouse characters, driven characters, and fighter characters attack for 1 turn. So he's a 2 times type booster to those 3 classes. And if this character is your captain or your friend captain or your helper captain, he changes all slots including block into Int orb. So this is probably one of the most welcome changes with Judge 6+, is he will guarantee you a full board of orbs, thankfully. I mean, just with me farming the previous Super Evolution Island that just came out, Judge is extremely infuriating to use because when you do want to use his special ability, you know, and do your burst, you're not guaranteed to get a full board of orbs. Now, obviously, it's a high chance to get them, but you're not guaranteed to get them. So it is an unfortunate thing, but with this character now, when he's set as your captain, you're guaranteed to get a full board of orbs, which I'm really happy about. But yeah, they did also change the fact that he's not an orb booster anymore, because obviously Ichiji takes that slot now, and he is now your 2 times type booster for your crew. So a very interesting team composition, and this is what the whole team looks like right now. I'm pretty happy with this team. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to go ahead and smack the like button down below, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.